Hi again, everybody. Mike Moyers along with the affable Andy Douglas here in the Quincy High Sports Hall of Fame room as we get ready for you've got a real live home game this week against UT, and nice going last weekend.
It was a good weekend for us. It was a fun one. To be able to go to Rocky anytime, especially when they're playing as hot as they are and have the talent that they have. I'm proud of our kids and have another important one coming up Friday. So it's on to the next one.
In case you didn't know, overtime win, Quincy High on the road against Rock Island last week, final of 76-62. You're up 12, 6 minutes left to go, and then, whoa.
Yeah. You know, we told our guys at halftime, I thought we put together a complete half, on both sides of the basketball. We told them at halftime it's going to be a close one. No matter how you look at it, we knew they weren't just going to lay down and take it, but it came back. I mean, they came back and fought and knocked down some key shots, some shots that were even contested for us. They got inside the lane with penetration, made plays. But I thought our guys, to be able to have the lead and then have them come back on us and then still have the resolve to play through the end of the fourth quarter, the way that ended, and then the two overtimes, it was big time for us.
You know, when you look at that game, Coach, this might be the only game in your coaching history moving forward where you beat a ranked team on their floor, you're held to single digits in the second half, both quarters, and you still win the game. I mean, I looked at that and went, that was weird.
It was. Offensively, I thought in the first half we were in attack mode. And then the second half came around, and towards the end of the third quarter, and especially in the fourth when they started making that run, I thought we played a little too passive. The plays that we took advantage of and we attacked the paint and created, we kind of got away from some of those. But again, for us to be able to go there against a ranked team and pull it out under tough circumstances. I mean, you're talking free throws, clutch free throws, some missed free throws in there too, but some big plays, offensive plays, defensive plays. Mike Dade comes in the second overtime and gets a big steal at the right time, and I thought we were able to put it together. And obviously when you can do that against a Rocky team, it's a good weekend.
Anybody who was watching the game or went to the game last week, you had to be thinking about Lincoln Elby. How many times, all of us have done this, you're on the driveway and you're dribbling the ball and this is a chance to tie it or win it, and when you miss that first one, I'm like, oh, that's hard, isn't it? And then the other coach calls timeout.
Yeah.
Oh, that had to be tough.
It was, and the good thing about Lincoln is he's a battler, and he wanted to be at the line probably more than any of the other players in the entire gym wanted to be at the line. So he stepped up, misses the first one long, and you could tell he had a look of frustration, not a look of am I going to make the next one or can I make the next one? It was just a look of frustration that he wanted to win the game, not just send it into overtime. But for him to step up, miss the first, and then have a timeout called to ice him a little bit, and then to step up and make the one that counted to send it into overtime, that's a big-time play for him and one that we'll take.
Larry Moore did that 1972 against Galesburg.
How about it?
Made them both.
Made them both.
That's Andy Douglas. I'm Mike Moyers. We're going to step aside. We're going to talk about the upcoming weekend. Got a home game and a road trip, and we'll talk more about that after we hear from Landmarks.
When Andy Douglas became the head coach of the Quincy High Blue Devils, he wanted a fresh start and a new look, starting with a locker room. The first place he called was Landmarks. You're looking at the finished product, wall picks, logos, inspirational quotes, and even window treatments. Each application was custom designed and installed by Landmarks right here in Quincy.
The window treatments are one of my favorite parts. They got kind of the wood feel. We're able to see out and see what's going on in the locker room, and the players can't see in, so that's kind of a special thing. But it has one of our favorite quotes on it: the image of one projects the image of all. It's a quote that we use with our program, our players. But again, it's a great addition to our locker room. It adds a lot of spice to it.
Wall picks, screen printing, embroidering, vehicle wraps. Let Landmarks give your home or office or locker room a fresh new look. Landmarks, make your mark.
Back in the Quincy High Sports Hall of Fame room, Mike Moyers along with Andy Douglas. With the win against Rock Island last week, you're in the game at 4-2. Rockies 5-1. Anything can happen.
Anything can, and that's the thing about this conference is when you're playing road games and pick up big wins, and having UT come here is going to be good for us. You talk about a team that's playing hot. They get their entire lineup back, and they have a guy who's getting a lot of looks, D1, D2 looks, and a dynamic force. It's a good test for our guys. And I'd be lying if I said I wasn't concerned on how we're going to kind of play this one to start, just because of the big win against Rocky. And one of the things that we tried to do is we wanted them to enjoy it. That's a win that they really need to enjoy and should enjoy. But when it starts Monday, you want to start putting that Rocky win to the side and start focusing on the task at hand, which is United Township. So they know the importance, and this group has done a good job of that all year, but they know the importance of this game and how it pertains to the Western Big Six run. And in order for us to be there at the top at the end, we can't look back. We have to look forward, and it's going to start for us Friday night.
And speaking of that, this is a different UT team than you played earlier because of this young man.
It's a big time different team. I mean, you look at them. I've watched a few games that they've played as of late, and just their energy's different. Offensively, they're a much different team. He's the type of kid who can shoot on the outside, obviously penetrate on the inside. A strong kid, so he does a lot for them. But it's a different team, and our guys understand that, and they're looking forward to the challenge. At the very beginning of the year, it was Rocky Galesburg, but then UT was up on the top, and obviously without him, they're a different squad. So with him back in the lineup, it's a tough look. But again, it's a challenge that our guys are ready to accept.
And on the topic of your guys, we failed to mention, you had 4 kids in double figures the other night, and it seems like when you need one, somebody's going to get you one.
It's the thing that we've talked about numerous times now is on any given night, different guys could step up, and that's kind of what we need. And we score 72 points. For us to get up in the 70s, which we haven't been in too often this year, it's going to take quite a few guys to step up. And Mike Dade comes off the bench, gives us a huge spark. And a lot of people look at his 18 points, and he probably does too. But probably the most important part was how he changed us defensively, getting the deflection. Talked about the big steal at the end, but. Again, he steps in, 18. Joe hits 18. Lincoln, I think, 16, and Parker with 12. It's good to see, and it's good that they can kind of look back and say, well, this is how we attacked, this is how we played. And you look at when we played Rocky the first time and then second. I'm really proud of how much we've evolved throughout that time, and I think we have a lot more left in us. But just our aggression and our drives, our guard play. Lincoln was the only one at the beginning to try and attack and get inside the lane. Mike Dade comes off the bench and does that. Cameron Gay makes plays in the full court. Jake Jobe looks to attack. So a different game, and if I can take anything from that, it's the improvement. Our program goal is constant improvement, and for our guys to kind of see how much they've improved and evolved, it's special.
Talk to us for a moment about Geneva. That's a long trip.
Yeah, another one. We're used to that one now, but it is a long trip. Upwards of 4.5, 5 hours, and it's tough. We've seen this when we played up in Oswego, to play a conference game Friday and then kind of revamp yourself, get ready for that next game on Saturday. It's a tough thing to do, but it's an opportunity for us, and it's an opportunity to go up against a team that's in the top 15, top 10 in the Chicago land, 6'8", 6'9". I mean, they're stacked. I mean, just a lot of lengthy guys. So it'll be a different look for us, probably a look that we haven't seen since Collinsville with their height. So a different game, different than the UT game. But again, to get 2 of those types of games in one weekend, it's tough. But again, it's a challenge and one we're looking forward to.
You're up to it. Recap quickly, big win against Rock Island last Friday night. Devils are home on this Friday against United Township right here. They have a soup supper prior to the game as per usual. Then they're on the road Saturday night against Geneva, 4.5, 9-hour round trip. Of course, you can hear it all on Q104, and of course, you can see it all on QuincyJournal.com on QJTV. Again, I've had so many people come up and go, That is the coolest thing. People just plug it into the big screen and kick back.
It's awesome. It really is. And while we're on that topic, a special hi to Coach Wallace and Barb Wallace. I know that they've watched almost every game, and they keep up with what we're doing, and I get random texts from them, so it's always good. But whether it's in Arizona, Chicago, up north in Minnesota, I mean, they're all over the place. I hear a lot of feedback on it, so it's a great feature to have.
While we're on that topic, two people we want to say hello to. Bob Moore, we're thinking about you up there. And speaking of Wallace's, Coach Riley Wallace,
Yes.
the former head coach of University of Hawaii, is in a hospital in Las Vegas, and hopefully he's making a comeback. So, Riley D., we're thinking about you. Folks, been great. Good seeing you.
Hey, you as well.
I ate at the Abbey the other night and didn't see you.
Doesn't happen often.
That's going to do it. For our friends at Landmarks, Mike Moyers, for Andy Douglas, we'll catch you next time we see you.